to start today with a story. So about 3.5 decades ago, I was in the college of my dreams. And it was this amazing school that I'd once thought was completely out of my reach. My parents were immigrants and they'd come to this country with very little, and a private university like this was never something my family could afford. But I really, really, really wanted to go, and I was super determined. So I worked really hard, and I earned a 4-year academic scholarship to attend Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana. And thank you. And I got this really great part-time job teaching swimming lessons to pay for all the things that a tuition-only scholarship does not cover. So but it was totally fine. I worked a ton of hours and I loved it. I loved college life. I loved campus. I loved the freedom. I even loved my tiny little room in the apartment that I rented with a lot of other people. It wasn't even a real bedroom. It was like a room off of one of the bedrooms, but it didn't matter because it was completely my space and I loved it. My only mode of transportation at the time was a bike, and I rode that bike everywhere. I went to the gym, I went to the grocery store, I rode to my 2 jobs. So I taught swimming lessons on campus at Tulane University, and I also taught swimming lessons 8 miles away at University of New Orleans, and that's what I had to do, and I was totally happy to do it. I would ride my bike after hours of studying in the library, and I would, ride past students that were rushing to class, and I would see people playing Frisbee in the quad, and my apartment was just off campus. And I remember as I ride towards my apartment, I had this feeling that just everything was perfect. It just felt so great. It didn't get better than this. And then in an instant, everything kind of was not perfect. I got some news that was going to change my life forever. I was pregnant. So at the age of 19, this is the situation I found myself in. And I really wish I could tell you that I was happy and excited and pumped on the day that I found out I was pregnant, but I wasn't. I was so scared. I was stressed. I was overwhelmed. I was financially strapped. I had no health insurance. And my very carefully crafted plan of getting my scholarship, going to Tulane University, getting my degree in biochemistry, going to medical school, and becoming an orthopedic surgeon were all slipping away. This was not part of the plan. But what I didn't realize is that this unexpected detour was actually going to change the trajectory of my life, and it was going to put me on a path to something that was far greater and more fulfilling and more satisfying than I ever could have imagined. So I made the really difficult decision, and I left school. And I moved to Miami, where my mother had just had recently relocated, and I got a job, and I had my son. And about 5 months later, I went back to school and I got my degree. And I thought, when I graduated, my son was 1.5 years old. There was no way I could go to medical school with a 1.5-year-old. So I thought, I'm going to open this little tiny business, and I'm going to teach swimming lessons just to get by until he's older, and then I can go to medical school. Well, my son turned 33 years old on Tuesday. That little business has grown beyond my wildest imagination. I mean, it's been amazing. And I never went to med school. And now I stand here, 30-something years later, and I realize that as each chapter of my life has unfolded, from working really hard to get a college scholarship, to making the choice to become a young mother, to teaching swimming lessons to get by, to building and now leading an employee-owned company, ownership has been a major theme. And this now, as I look back at Oca Aquatics, we have this, one of the things that I'm so proud of is we have this amazing culture of ownership, and we call it our Own It culture. And it has helped us to grow this business to 5 indoor purpose-built warm water locations. And we have now we have 165 team members, and we actually have we've almost taught 3 million swimming lessons. Thank you. And as I look back, one of the most amazing things is I've had this amazing success, and I've had this amazing, wonderful human son, Ian, and it's just I've had so much luck, and I've worked so incredibly hard. But one of the things that I really truly love the most that I do every single day is I get to work with the most amazing team of people every single day. And now I really, this team of people helps to grow this business, and they help to make the magic in our business. And we have built this Own It culture, and we've done it with a lot of purpose and a lot of care and a really strong foundation. And that strong foundation is built on 3 principles. Number 1 is having a clear and meaningful purpose. We've heard that today. Number 2 is to embrace lifetime learning. And number 3 is having this relentless pursuit of better. And that often requires the courage to be different. And that has really helped us to grow. Our Own It culture has helped us to grow our business, and this has really helped us to grow this amazing business that we have with all of these team members, and I'd like to talk to you about them today. So the first principle of building an Own It culture is to have a clear and meaningful purpose. We've already heard this from Jay today. It has to be something that inspires people to want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And purpose answers the question, why? Why are we doing this? And it has to matter deeply, either in the work itself or in the outcomes that the work creates. Because purpose is the fuel for an Own It mindset and for an Own It culture. And when people really believe in the work that they're doing, they'll take true responsibility for it. And let's be clear, making money cannot be a purpose. Profit is the result of a strong purpose with a committed team behind it. So at Oca Aquatic Swim School, our purpose is really simple, but it's super powerful. It's to make a positive difference for our team, our families, our community, and the planet. And under our purpose, we have a 2-fold mission. And one part of our mission is to our families. We teach families to love swimming, and we teach them to become more comfortable and more responsible around the water. And this is fun, and it's rewarding, and it's also an incredible responsibility. Drowning is the leading cause of accidental death in children ages 1 to 4 in the United States. But the National Institutes of Health have researched and reported that children who participate in formal swimming lessons are 88% less likely to be involved in a drowning. That's huge. So when I said that 3 million swimming lessons earlier, that's more than just a statistic. That represents lives saved. And that means that every single swimming lesson that we teach, every moment in the pool, every high five carries the weight of that purpose. But our purpose doesn't stop at the pool edge. The second part of our mission is to our team members, and we are committed to growing them under this framework of social and environmental responsibility so that we can grow the swim school in a sustainable way and we can make a bigger impact in the world. So not only do we have a job where the work they do matters, but we really want to make people feel like they matter at Oca Aquatics. And we want them to feel valued and empowered and supported. So the most impactful way that we do this is because we treat them as our number 1 customer. When you genuinely care for your team members, they genuinely care for your customers. And that's not just a fluffy, feel-good philosophy. That's a business strategy that really, really works. And our team members turn around and take amazing care of our families. And we're so lucky. We get to work with children and families. We see these children that walk in the door. They come in scared, and we help them conquer their fears. And we help them with, we give them life-saving skills. And we have a lot of fun while we're doing this. But let's get real. Purpose-driven work is not always glamorous. There are hard days. There are days when your energy runs low, and there are days when the work is overwhelming. And there are days when the work is thankless. And those are the days that purpose matters most. Purpose gives you the fuel to, when you remember why you're doing what you're doing and why the work matters, you remember that you have true meaning in your work. And that's why it helps you get the fuel from within to persevere. So at Oca Aquatics, when we do this, it really does help our team members own their part of the mission. And when they own their part of the mission, extraordinary things can happen. Our second principle of building an Own It culture is to embrace lifetime learning. And at Oca Aquatics, one of our core values is always learning. And we talk about this from the moment they walk in the door. This is like that growth mindset that Jay was talking about earlier. So we talk about this in new team member orientation, and we want our team members to own their growth and development at Oca Aquatic Swim School. And they come in, and why do we do this? Why do we spend so much time on it? We feel that lifetime learning is really important, and personal and professional development is really important for the team member, but it's also really, really important for the business. And by doing this, we help our team members, really grow while they're at Oca Aquatics. And don't take my word for it, listen to them. They tell us constantly that the number one reason why they have such a great experience at Oca Aquatic Swim School is because they are growing, both personally and professionally. And it has helped us earn a top workplace recognition for the last 8 years in a row. But as leaders, we create the environment for them to grow, but they have to own their growth. They have to want to come in and take advantage of all the opportunities that we give them. And this also means they have to be really, really good at accepting feedback and taking advantage of learning moments and learning moments. So during COVID, I actually had a few CEOs talk to our team members to kind of lift their spirits. We were hit really hard during COVID. We were closed for 3 months, and I invited a few people, and Gary Ridge of WD-40 was one of those people who talked to my team. And he taught us a lesson. This was 5 years ago. He taught us this lesson of learning moments. And learning moments, he said, don't view mistakes as failures. Instead, view mistakes as learning opportunities and make sure you're taking the lessons from the mistakes that you've made. So when we heard this new framework, we were like, this is amazing. This is great. So we have totally adopted the idea of learning moments. And it's great for me because I have had so many learning moments in my life. Especially, I opened this business as a 22-year-old. And now I look back at all the learning moments that I had, and some still make me cringe when I think of them, but they shaped me into the person that I am today. And so, I have really, because I had those early learning moments in my 20s, I am now able to give grace to our team members who are also in their early 20s, and they have their own learning moments. And I know that it's going to be okay as long as we take the best out of the opportunities and we learn from them. So one of my biggest learning moments came to me really early in my career. I was the young single mother of a toddler, and I had a mountain of credit card debt. I had some student loan debt too, but I had a lot of credit card debt, about $60,000. And I remember writing, those credit card checks that you get in the mail. I would write those checks sometimes to get by. I'd pay my housing expenses on those credit card checks. And I remember one day after I wrote one of those credit card checks, I went on a walk. And I started negotiating with myself and just saying, if you can just get out of debt, I promise I will do whatever I can do to help others not get into the situation that I now find myself in. Well, I'm really happy to say that I did pay off my debt. It took years of steady effort, but I did pay off my debt. And I did keep my promise. So for the last 12 years, Oca Aquatic Swim School has offered personal financial literacy education to our team members. And now we have the most amazing stories of success with our team, and it's been wonderful. So I'd like to tell you about one. This is Felipe. Felipe is the general manager at our tropical location. And when he came to work with us in 2016, he had $14,000 worth of credit card debt. And he joined our financial literacy program right away, and he started chipping away at that debt. And one day he comes up to me and he's kind of nervous, and I don't know what's going on. And, he said, I really need to talk to you. Okay, what's going on? And he said, I need you to do something for me. Okay, what's up? And he hands me his telephone. And he says, I'm about to make my last payment to become debt-free. And I want you to press the button. Right? I still get chills and I still get emotional when I think of that story. And that's an amazing story. But that's not the most amazing part, is now I walk into his location and he is sitting with others who are struggling with debt, and he is counseling them on how it is possible to get out of debt. That's the most amazing part of the story. And that reminds me of the power of investing in people. It creates this positive ripple of impact around that person, but that affects so many other people in their circle. So remember earlier I told you that personal and professional development is really good for the individual and it's really good for the business, right? So now that our team members have confidence in their personal financials, we teach them about business financials. And oops, I'm sorry about that. We teach them about business financials. And now, for the last 3 years, we have practiced open book management with our team. And I know a lot of companies that say, I would never open my books to my team members, especially young team members like ours. But this is really important to us, and it's a game changer for our Own It culture. And it really has helped them see the big picture. It helps them understand the decisions that we make. It helps them help us make really better decisions for the business and for them as team members. And now every Tuesday they come in and they're ready. They want to see financials. They want to see the trend lines haven't been updated. They want to see statistics. They're really excited and they're owning their growth. And when people own their growth, extraordinary things happen. So the third and final principle of building an Own It culture is to have this relentless pursuit of better, which often requires the courage to be different. At Oca Aquatic Swim School, our team member mantra is we are different and we make a difference. And this third principle has guided every single decision in our 31-year history. So, outdoor pools are abundant in Miami. We were the first company to actually build indoor year-round warm water facilities. And we needed to do it we had unpredictable weather, we had a growing demand for swimming lessons, we had limited time in outdoor pools, so we needed to build indoors. And it was an expensive choice, but it was an unconventional choice, but it has worked for us. And this same courage to go against the grain has led us to becoming the first swim school on the planet Earth to become a certified B Corporation. So you all know how hard that is, right? And we're going through recertification right now, and it's a really difficult process, but the process has made us better. And we're so happy that we have learned different ways to measure our success, not just by profit, but by our impact on people and planet. So similarly, when we were looking at the next chapter of Oca Aquatics, we chose a different path. And instead of selling to private equity, which a lot of people in our industry are doing right now, we chose an employee ownership trust model. And why did I do this? I did this because I did a lot of research on employee ownership, and I researched all the different ways to do it. And when I found an EOT, I found that this was a really great way that I could transfer ownership to my team members without them having to buy in. The trust is a very flexible instrument, and I was able to write in my goals and what I'd like this company to look like as it moves forward. And I was able to just keep our team members engaged, and through our transparency and through our ownership culture that we had already nurtured and our long-term thinking. We had already been working on all of these things. So today, Oca Aquatics is owned and operated by the team that make it great. And they not only own the challenges, they own the results, and they own the future of our company. And that to me is more rewarding than I could ever imagine. So I hope today that you have been able to see that building an Own It culture has been really, really important to me. And it's been, I'm just an ordinary person, but I have had extraordinary success and extraordinary experiences because we have chosen to own our circumstances. Because when you empower your team to have this shared sense of ownership, whether or not you're an employee-owned company, you open their potential and you allow them to share their passion, and they really want to create work that matters. And when you allow them to do that, they see that there's power in business, not just in making a profit, but also on the impact on society and on our community. So this is really, really great for business, and this is really, really great for humanity. Can you imagine if all businesses were powered by purpose and driven by people who really, wanted to embrace lifetime learning, and they wanted to continue doing things that are different if they're better, not just easier? That's what building an Own It culture is all about. And so today, I hope that you can help me continue to create these positive ripples of impact. And I hope that you can answer the question, do you have the courage to own it? Thank you.